letting it be known she's not racist. Her fans aren't racist. There's a small pocket of people that, can be not so good, but that's in every sector. That's in everything. Okay, we got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel with the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things. We're going to start right here with Jonquel Jones. This was on the pivot. Now, I believe this was a little bit of time ago. It just came to my attention, so I'm covering it now, damn it. Okay, we had so many things.
Two separate storylines involving Caitlin Clark drew attention recently. Comments from UNBA veteran Jonquel Jones addressing the narrative around Clark and her fanbase, and criticism directed at the NCAA over a social media post that appeared to omit Clark from a graphic highlighting former college stars now excelling professionally. Speaking on a sports podcast, Jones addressed the broader conversation around Clark and accusations of racism, sometimes directed at her fanbase.
So I'm covering it now, damn it. Okay, we had so many things go on where you have, you got DiJonae Carrington clotheslining Sophie Cunningham and running to the locker room to say white privilege. You got all these people yelling racism, racism, racism. And they tend to only put it out there when it happens with the Indiana Fever. We had an Indiana Fever fan that was clearly assaulted in the stands in Seattle, and everybody was hush about it, from Monica McNutt to nobody wanted to cover it. Okay, we still haven't heard Kathy Engelbert address the assault.
Jones said people should be careful about generalizing all Fever fans, arguing that some fans were drawn to Clark expecting her to represent certain views she doesn't actually hold, and that assuming otherwise doesn't reflect who she is. Jones's comments were seen by some as pushing back against blanket characterizations of Clark or her broader fanbase, while acknowledging that any large fanbase can include a smaller subset of people behaving poorly, something not unique to this situation.
The assault that took place to that Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark fan in the stands in Seattle, and we're not going to. You know why? Because it would have only been a story if it happened to an opposing fan in Indiana. That's when it would have been a story. Oh, the racist Caitlin Clark fans are at it again. Let's take a listen to what Jonquel Jones of the New York Liberty had to say. Let's get into it.
They want her to be the representation of their racism and like their view on the world, and she's not.
Separately, commentator Skip Bayless criticized the NCAA's official social media account after it posted a graphic highlighting former college stars now setting records in the WNBA, including Aja Wilson, Paige Buchers, Olivia Miles, and Angel Reese, without including Clark, despite her holding numerous NCAA and WNBA records. Bayless publicly questioned who was responsible for the post and why Clark was left out, calling the omission intentional given her body of work, including her standing as the NCAA's all-time leading scorer and her role in driving record-breaking viewership for women's college basketball.
And, like their view on the world, and she's not like that. And I think you have to be careful when you say, like, the Fever fans.
Look, I know Ryan Clark didn't like this. He's the Hall of Fame race baiter. Him and Jamel Hill, Hall of Fame race baiters, boy.
Because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think you have to be careful when you say, like, the Fever fans. Because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way, and they thought that she was. And so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that. And then they realized, like, oh, no, she's actually not racist.
The graphic specifically noted that Miles ranks second all-time for assists by a rookie in WNBA history, without mentioning that Clark holds the top spot, which became a specific point of criticism, given that Clark set numerous rookie records during her first season and has posted more 30-point, 10-assist games than the rest of WNBA history combined. The omission drew broader criticism online, with many viewing it as inconsistent given Clark's well-documented statistical accomplishments and her impact on the sport's visibility at both the collegiate and professional level.
Now, that was Jonquel Jones basically coming out and saying, hey, people need to be careful when they're saying, oh, Caitlin Clark's racist. She's not racist. Jonquel Jones came out and said herself, she's not racist at all. All of her fans are not racist. You need to be careful when saying all Caitlin Clark fans or all Indiana Fever fans are racist, because that's not true. There's a small sector of nasty people, just like there's a small sector of nasty people in any genre, in anything. With good, there's always going to be some bad.
The next day or so is expected to bring heavy media scrutiny toward Caitlin Clark, following comments and visible frustration she showed during a post-game interview. Some context worth considering: there's been ongoing criticism of WNBA officiating this season, particularly around physical contact against Clark, that some feel hasn't been called consistently.
With good, there's always going to be some bad. Now, you guys choose to acknowledge the negative and the bad way more than the good, and that is the problem, okay? Now, we have to get to the disrespect. Skip Bayless went off. Skip Bayless lost it on the NCAA for whoever ran this graphic, okay? And I'm going to show it to you. We're going to get to what Skip said first, okay? Skip Bayless said, I would like to know who exactly working for the NCAA chose to post.
Given that context, her visible frustration after the game is at least understandable to some observers, even if it draws criticism. After the game, Clark spoke candidly with reporters, largely addressing a specific non-call earlier in the contest.
Praise of the recent pro exploits of several former college stars while omitting Caitlin Clark's recent achievements. This screams intentional. Who is responsible and why? And this is a great question and a great stance to take from Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, you've been cooking with fish grease. You've been cooking it up. And this is what he's referring to, okay? This is the NCAA's official Twitter or whatever. And it says they made their mark in college. Now
she's likely to face a fine from the league for some of her post-game comments, which is a fairly standard outcome for pointed criticism of officiating. In the post-game interview, Sophie Cunningham was first asked about the team's offensive struggles in a game where they scored 75 points, tied for their lowest output of the season.
And it says they made their mark in college. Now they're setting records on the biggest stage. And you have Olivia Miles, you have Angel Reese, you got Asia Wilson, you got Paige Beckers. Caitlin Clark's nowhere to be found in this. Meanwhile, she has more records than all of these people combined. So it's just like, okay, take a look here. So they got a slideshow going. Former stars setting records in the W. Okay, here it says Asia Wilson joins Diana Taurasi as the only players in WNBA history with 100 career 25 plus.
She attributed it largely to turnovers and a slower pace than the team typically wants to play, emphasizing that their identity is built around tempo, transition opportunities, and taking care of business defensively. Clark was then asked specifically about a second quarter play involving contact from an opposing player that visibly frustrated her.
It's beyond freaking me. And it's getting to the point now where Caitlin is taking matter into her own hands, whether that affect her brand or not. She's standing up for herself, so I can't do nothing but applaud her for that. Because in the midst of a storm, there's always a sunny day at the end. And right now, Caitlin Clark is about to hit a storm like she probably never felt before during her time in the WNBA, because media is going to have a field day with.
She said the missed call was significant, noting she was left playing through a leg contusion for the remainder of the game as a result, and argued that type of contact shouldn't be missed by officials. Asked what explanation she received from officials in the moment, she said she was told the referee simply didn't see the contact. While acknowledging that's a valid explanation procedurally, she maintained that kind of contact shouldn't go uncalled regardless.
This in about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, they is finna just tear her apart. I feel it. I'm going off what they saying online. It is about to be a long 24 hours. Now, with that being said, Caitlin Clark took it upon herself today to erupt on reporters after this game. And pretty much it was due to these referees. Now, Caitlin is more than likely going to get fined for this, guys. I just got to keep it real. She's probably going to get a fine for what she.
Statistically, Clark finished with 13 points on the night, going 4 of 14 from the field and 1 of 8 from 3, needing a total of 22 shot attempts to reach that scoring total, along with a -8 for the game. Given her usual efficiency and shot volume, a night like that stands out as a rougher offensive performance overall, and some have pointed to her limited playing time and rotation restrictions this season as a contributing factor to disrupted rhythm on nights like this one.
She said today after this game, and it is what it is. I just hope Caitlin Clark take her fine, word like a champ. Now, shout out to Tony Eastman, because I like watching his stuff, because he ain't going to chop it up, take stuff out. But we're going to react to exactly what happened at the conclusion of this game. Let's roll it.
Sophie, I'll start with you. This 75 is tied for the lowest you guys have scored in the game.
Later in the interview, Clark mentioned that she picked up more pace and burst later in the game, particularly down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and added, with a slight smile, that she hopes she won't have to keep playing around 25 minutes a night going forward, a comment some have interpreted as her expressing frustration with current minutes restrictions, though that interpretation remains speculative rather than something she stated outright. Cunningham was also asked about the opposing team's strong interior scoring night, crediting them as a well-run, fundamentally sound team on both ends, while acknowledging Indiana's own execution wasn't where it needed to be, pointing to a long road trip, tired legs, a slow start, and a second unit that struggled to set the right tone early.
All year, offensively, where did you feel like you guys struggled to get going?
Man, I think we had a little bit of too many turnovers. They definitely slowed the pace down, and at the end of the day, we got to play what works for us. We got to keep our pace high. We got to play our defensive schemes, take care of business on the defensive end, get boards, and run. That's what we're good at. We have great people who are awesome in the open court, and so I just think we lacked pace tonight, honestly.
Kaylin, can you take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset, and then you...
She noted the team battled back in the second half by generating more stops and pushing tempo in transition, but ultimately fell short.
Hopped into the back.
Quad. Like, that hurts. Like, the ref can't miss that. And then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. Like, it's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
So Caitlin Clark just admitted she got a contusion in her leg from that play. So Caitlin is letting us know she got hurt, bruh. And she mad as hell. And kudos to Caitlin. I don't care what nobody say, because I know they finna get mad.
Asked about consistency following recent comments from Coach Stephanie White on the subject, Cunningham explained that the team essentially played into the opponent's preferred style, a slower-paced, half-court-oriented approach, rather than imposing their own transition-heavy identity.
Get mad at this, but for her to say she got a contusion in her leg, oh my God, bro. Shout out to her, because she gonna get fined, but she gonna go, she finished talking about it.
Did they give you an explanation right after when you went up to him?
I initiated the contact, which is fine. You can't knee me in the leg, knock me over.
Caitlin, for you, what do you think they did? Just
She pointed to turnovers as a major factor, noting the opponent scored a significant number of points directly off Indiana giveaways, and emphasized ball security and dictating pace as the keys to becoming a more consistent team moving forward.
just defensively to make it a little tougher tonight than usual.
Yeah, I mean, I got some good looks. Obviously, it's hard. I think I played 10 minutes in the first half. I was just struggling a little bit to find a flow, and they're in my grill. They're probably the best defensive team in the league. They're really good at that. They do it.
Now, Caitlin Clark stated that it took her a minute to find a flow. Then she, before that, stated she only played 10 minutes. That right there let me know Caitlin Clark is getting fussed.
Overall, this was a rough offensive showing statistically for both Clark and the team, paired with visible frustration from Clark regarding officiating and playing time restrictions. A storyline expected to generate significant discussion in sports media over the following day.
Getting frustrated with this load management restriction, because Caitlin Clark is the type of player, she has to get in rhythm. She stated for herself, she can't get in the flow. She can't even find her shot. And people wonder, well, what did Caitlin have tonight? Points wise, I think she had 13 points, but how many attempts was it? How many attempts did Caitlin have? Let me get this pulled up for you guys real quick, because I want to show y'all something. So let me blow this up all the